I'm afraid of the beach. Growing up, man, like a lot of you, our lives are structured and determined by our parents. A lot of important decisions were up to my parents, and sometimes they made the good decision and they also made the wrong ones. And not only do those decisions impact them, but they impacted me. And I had no control over it. I had no control over the decision they made or how it impacted me. And from that point forward, I learned that I can't rely on other people to make decisions for me. I can't put so much trust into other people. I just can't go where life takes me or go with the flow. And I learned that if I want something, get it done. Just do it yourself, because it won't get done otherwise, or it won't reach your expectations. And I have a list of times where something important was left up to someone else, and their performance made me wish I had just done it all myself instead of leaving it up to them. I got in the habit of wanting to control everything. And when I had no control, I felt anxious, bro. I don't know why I'm using past tense, but I felt freaking anxious. That uncertainty of not knowing the outcome came with anxiety. You know, anxiety equals uncertainty. So when I walked in a room filled with people I don't know, I kept quiet. I didn't showcase my personality because I don't know how they'll perceive me. When I had to popcorn read, I don't know if I'll stumble on my words or, potentially facing grins and laughs. And that uncertainty, not only is the outcome uncertain, but it feels like I have no control over it to begin with. And if I have no control over it, how do I know it'll come out the way I intend it to? How does this relate to the beach, you may ask? Well, the beach is uncertain. The waves are moving you. There's just a big chance of a huge wave coming by and knocking you off your feet, making you go from above the water to sinking in it. It's unpredictable. It went from a couple of small waves to a big one that almost knocked me off my feet. That's when I started backing up towards the shore. The beach is the exact embodiment of what scares me on the day-to-day. That unpredictability, that uncertainty, that unreliability. Oh, brother. There was a shift. Okay. When I first got to the beach and my brother and sister-in-law walked into the water, carefree, chilling, I was frozen in place. Took a couple of steps, man. After that, I was frozen in place. I'd get up, and then after a few moments of my brother trying to encourage me, I'd get up the courage to move a little closer. Then a big wave would come, almost knocking me off my feet, surprising me with its force, and I was frozen again. This kept happening until my brother finally came back to shore for me and took my hand. And man, when I tell you I didn't want him to let go, I was clenching onto him because I knew he wanted me to set him free, He wanted me to let go and try it out and trust the water. Man, and we were in the water. The water was up to my neck, feet barely touching the ground, and I can feel myself being swept up. Everyone else is calm and going with the flow, and I'm freaking the F out. Going with the flow. How do you go with the flow, I think to myself. Everyone's so carefree. How? And I thought to myself, I'm at the beach right now, stressing out, bruh. And it's like, let the waves do whatever. I don't know how to let the waves just do whatever, do what they do. Those waves don't know what's good for me. They don't know what's best for me. And if they did, who's to say they'd help you when given the chance? Anything that takes power from you feels like a threat, you know? That's how I wired my brain to think. That's how I wired my mind to think. Any person that wants to lead the group project without consulting anyone is a threat. Anyone who's yelling at me is obviously a threat. Anything that can overtake me is a threat. Anything that can physically take me off my feet is a threat. The pool is a threat. The beach is a threat. Hot foods is a threat. Spicy foods is a threat. It's a threat. My brain, then body, processes it as a threat. And that's when I start to resist. And my heart starts to pick up its pace. And everyone's laughing, joking around while I'm thinking about how I should dig my feet into the sand to act as an anchor if anything goes wrong. My brother can sense my resistance and how I reacted to every splash and splish. You know, every splish and splash. We're gonna move, and that's expected. We're in water. My brother can sense my resistance and how I reacted to every splish and splash and every wave, and every small, big, and medium-sized wave. And he says, you're gonna move. That's expected. We're in water. And that one phrase, man, you're gonna move, was enough to calm me down. I immediately paralleled that sentence to life. I applied that to life immediately. It's crazy. But we're gonna get embarrassed. We're gonna be disappointed at some point. We're gonna feel let down. We're gonna feel underwhelmed. But we're also gonna feel surprised. We're gonna feel happiness, enjoyment, joyfulness. We're gonna feel like, hey, we're gonna feel surprised and like we don't deserve the things we'll get in life, and we'll feel so grateful and so happy that we'll get everything we wanted and some. All of the above, because it's life. You're going to move because we're in water. We're going to move because we're in water. He said, man, you're going to move because we're in water. And if the water moves you, it's okay. Because we're in water. And if you fall, it's okay. Because you could just stand. And I said, but I feel like I have no control. Verbatim, I feel like I have no control. Like the water's moving me and I have no control over where I go, whether I sink or drown. Like I have no control over it. And it was like, it's okay. If your feet can touch the ground, you can just stand. Whatever happens, you can just stand. Sigh of relief. Immediately. I felt better immediately. And there I was laughing and chilling. And when my sister-in-law said she was gonna get me a floaty from the shore, I felt like I didn't even need it at that point. But, of course I used it though, you feel me? Of course, come on. I definitely did. And at some point when my brother wanted to borrow that floaty, I was scared at first because I felt like I relied on that floaty. But I still gave it to him, and it was just fine. And I was just fine without it. I was chilling, bro. I was laughing. I was picking up seashells. Man, I enjoyed the splishes and the splashes and the high tide and the low tides and the variation. I enjoyed it. I was finally calm enough to enjoy that unpredictability. There was so much excitement that came with that unpredictability, that uncertainty. You know, I could appreciate the low tides because it was peaceful, and the high tides because it was exciting. You could ride the wave pretty much. It's, you know, and almost drown damn near, but it's exciting. I was calm enough to enjoy it, even though everything around me was unpredictable and felt chaotic at first. I was calm enough to enjoy it. It's all about perspective, really.